What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jam Movies, and today we're talking about Fantastic Four, or as some people call it, Fan Four Stick. It's got a lot of bad reviews, but here's what we think about it. So, after all these years, I finally got a chance, and you yourself, to check out Fantastic Four. And when it first came out, I had no interest in it because of all the terrible reviews and all the bad comments, and I apparently it went through production hell as well. But I mean, I ended up finding it at the local buy and sell for $2.99.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so I mean, $2.99 to check a movie. I mean, back in the day, we couldn't even rent a movie for $3, right? So after sitting down and watching it, I mean, I was expected to for it to be this awful movie. I wouldn't say it doesn't deserve the hate it got.
Yeah.
Is it a perfect movie? No, not by any means, right? But it wasn't as bad as everybody said it was. But with that being said, let's just go to the budget.
The budget was 120 mil. In Canada and the U.S. it grossed 56, so already kind of low. But all around the world, it was 168 mil, which isn't bad. At least they made money from it. So the rating it got, maybe there was a lot of people that watched it to get the gross at the end. But I still don't agree with the critics and stuff. It wasn't that terrible of a movie where there's no point of watching it. But what did you think about the budget?
I mean, like there's a lot of issues with the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not exactly sure why the movie caught. Like, I mean, yeah, the special effects are there,
yeah,
but some of them are really poorly done. So it's either because of that reason, they're just poorly done, or they didn't have a big enough budget to what they had envisioned, mm-hmm. maybe. Maybe I could have used it a little better, I think. But all in all, again, too, it wasn't too bad mm-hmm. Of a film. So. I don't have really an issue with what they did with their budget, minus what they could have done a little bit better, which was probably had a better vision for what they wanted to do. But with visions, let's talk about the director.
He's done movies like Capone and a couple others I can't forget, or I can't remember. Sorry.
Chronicle, I believe, right?
Yeah, Chronicle, and it's Josh Trank for those who don't know. And he also wrote the movie Fantastic Four, so I liked the vision for the movie. The story, it wasn't too bad, I would have to say. It's not. I liked being different than the other Fantastic Four. So, and his storytelling and direction of the movie, I didn't think too bad of it. Like, I thought it was a great movie, and the way he hopefully envisioned it to end up, besides some maybe of the effects and whatnot. What would you think about the director?
Well, from what I've read, apparently the studio, like always, right, they're telling them, oh, do this and do that. They're pulling the strings, and you can only do so much, right? Like you said, the storyline and like what he had envisioned, minus the special effects, I think was there. Mm-hmm. It's just, again, too, when you have too many people pulling strings and telling you what to do, you can't really make the movie you set out to make, right? But as far as the other Fantastic Four movies go, I mean, if you compare the older ones to this one, I mean, this was more of a serious tone. Mm-hmm. The other ones were more comedic, more comic, like more goofy, we'll say. I definitely like the actors more in this one, and let's talk about them.
Okay. Miles Teller was Reed Richards.
I really like Miles Teller.
Yeah, he's been in great movies. Maverick, War Dogs, Whiplash, Project X, just to name a couple. Kate Mara, which was Sue Storm. She also was in a couple big name movies.
Yeah.
What else do you have to say about the actors?
Well, you know what? So when I first seen the cast for it, I was a little skeptical, right? I mean, Miles Teller, I believe I just started getting into his movies. Mm-hmm. So I was interested in that, even though he doesn't really strike me as Reed Richards, right? Because I know a little bit of the comics as well. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. Well, He did good for whatever source material he was given. Did it fit the role? Not entirely, but again, too, I think I'm used to just seeing your standard Johnny, right? In these types of movies, in the comic books, it's not what he looks like, right? But all in all, the cast was great. Kate Mara was good. Who played Ben?
Jamie Bell. He was also in Jumper.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. And then we have for Doctor Doom. I want to talk about him for a second here.
Reggie Cathy.
Okay. So, he didn't do terrible. Again, too, it's all about the source material and what he's given, right? But the character itself, I mean, they really messed up with that.
Yeah.
That looks so cheesy, and that was like, again, we're going back to the special effects, like that's not Victor Von Doom. That is definitely not Doctor Doom in anything I've ever seen in comic books, whatever. It was just so like poorly done together. It's almost like they went from like a big Hollywood budget to now we're gonna make it a little cheesy, like, almost like we ran out of the budget. Which, for all we know, that's what happened, right? So, but yeah, that was a big element. But I mean, he played all right for the source material he was given. All in all, it's not a bad movie, right?
Yeah, I like Michael B. Jordan's like Fire Sewer, whatever you want to call it. I didn't like that as much as the older series, but it was still good. It was just, again, the effects was just not as good as I would have thought, being a newer Fantastic Four.
And that's just it too, right? Like when it's a newer Fantastic Four, newer vision, and you're trying to make a more serious tone, you figure you'd spend a little bit extra. What I would have actually done if it was me directing this, I think I would have tried to use practical effects for a lot of this stuff, because it could be done, right? Maybe if you would have got Christopher Nolan involved or something like that, I don't know why he would do a Fantastic Four movie, but something like that, and you could do more of the big practical effect. I thought it would have looked awesome, and it would have fit with the tone they were going with. So the cheesy effects didn't really work for me, right? But what would you say your favorite scene was in this movie?
I would say I'd like Ben's like attacking like the military stuff. I like the way he was like trying to be the good guy just to be back to his normal self, but he didn't realize that what's his name? Sorry, Reed Richards was trying to help him, but he was just making sure he didn't get caught to help him. So it was cool to see like the friend dynamic between the two, where the one was just trying his best to help the one that he made a mistake. It wasn't his honest mistake. It was just bad circumstances, and so I liked how he was mad. So his way of doing it was to attack all these army, like be an army guy essentially, and and then he ends up capturing his best friend and kind of like screwing his chances of getting back to normal. In the time he did, he trusted the army when they were not looking in their best interest. So like that's why I like the Ben Grimm, sorry. I liked more of his scenes than it. I don't have a specific scene, but more like his scenes I liked a lot, to be honest. What was your favorite scene?
You know what? I'm going to have to go right at the starting, when they're in the science fair, and they already have, they're this idea that's way more advanced than anything in the science fair kind of thing, and you watch, like, it's your typical story, right? The too smart for their own good, and you watch obviously what it develops into, right, which is scientists working for a greater cause, and the Fantastic Four happens, and etc. Right, so I liked how that all kind of pieced together, and it kind of brought like the chemistry to the table too, where you have the actors, their friendship starting to come together because of that initial scene. That's where it all began, kind of thing. That's what I like. But with that being said, the ending of the movie, how do you think it ended?
I think it was anticlimactic. I don't think it was good. Like, it could have been a lot better. I think we said, it's probably because of the effects. I don't have much to say. It was okay, but I enjoyed the rest of the movie more than the ending, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that too. Like the ending kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
It was almost like this build up, and it just went tumbling down the hill for nothing, right? There was no real setup for, even if there was a setup for a sequel, it doesn't matter anyways, but there's no real setup for anything. By the end of the movie, it's kind of like the payoff wasn't there, so that I had an issue with, right?
But do we agree with everyone else's critiques and ratings on this?
Do I agree? No, absolutely not. You can't go into, that's the problem with a lot of these critics. You go into these movies and you're like, oh, the special effects were terrible and this was awful and whatever, but do you ever stop and think about what you enjoyed of the movie, right? Was I entertained? Absolutely, all the way through, up until your flat ending, as we just said. To give it what did it get, a 4.3? I think we have it written down, 4.3, yeah. On Internet Movie Database. And to say it's anywhere close to a 4.3 is absolutely ridiculous, right? We're talking, like, I've seen low-budget movies get better reviews than that, right? And again, to the crappy scripting, and maybe it was because they were judging on the fact that it had this big budget and it was a big Hollywood movie, right? Was it the best superhero movie I've ever seen? Not a chance, right? Was it a great movie? No. Was it bad? No. So you can't say it's terrible. I enjoyed it. Will I watch it again? Maybe not immediately, but eventually down the road, I think I definitely will have no issue popping it back in and enjoying it. It's popcorn fun.
Yeah,
Get a bucket of popcorn, throw the movie on, enjoy it, turn your brain off for a bit. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. It's not a 4.3. It's enjoyable. It's just like you said, people are too picky on certain things. They're not like thinking of, the budget was high, but was there a lot of issues that caused them to use a lot of their budget and not be able to make the movie they envisioned? There was too many cooks in the kitchen and stuff like that. But the movie itself, the story and the build-up was good. It just, the ending was a disappointment. But all in all, it does not deserve the rating that it's gotten. But talking about rating, let's get into the Jammeter.
Yeah, let's give it a Jammeter rating. You know what? Like, again, not a bad movie, not a great movie. So I'm gonna have to go with a 60.
60?
Yeah, which is gonna shock quite a few people, right? And they're probably thinking, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about, and that's your opinion, right? This is my opinion. If you were to maybe follow the formula that we did and turn off your brain, get a bucket of popcorn, watch the movie, and don't worry about the special effects. Laugh about them, enjoy those aspects, right? But also enjoy the fact that there was a storyline there. You've seen the vision, what they tried to do. Didn't work out maybe the way they planned, but we don't know the backstory. We know they went through development hell, so definitely a 60. I think that's fair.
I agree with the 60. I also have to rate it as a 60. We don't know all the issues that went through. The story, like you said, was great. I liked how it was a different take from the other movie, from what I remember, and I haven't seen the comics, so I can't say for comic-wise. But I do like it was like its own, kind of like The Crow was kind of its own. And it was different. I didn't go expecting to be the same as the original, and I wasn't super disappointed. So a 60 is great for this. I suggest everyone at least watch it once, make your own judgment. But do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, no, wait, actually, I want to add to what you just said there. Everybody make your own judgment. Like, if you ever want to watch a movie where, reviews are terrible, and you kind of brush it to the side. No, if you really want to watch that movie, give it a chance, right? Because these reviewers sometimes are just so critical on every little aspect that they almost forget to enjoy a movie, right? But with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed our discussion on Fantastic Four. Again, too, it may not be what you guys thought of it, or you might have your own opinion on it, like the critics. But that was ours. And if you like this video, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for jamming out with us.